Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle, draw the circle wide.
Good morning. It is just wonderful to see you all, and it is a beautiful day at Cedar Lane. I'm Abhi Janamanchi. I use pronouns he and him, and I'm proud and honored to be serving this religious community as one of your ministers. And visually, I am a brown-skinned Indian male, and today I'm wearing a pink shirt, dark pants, and a black vest with a red flaming chalice symbol. We begin with these words from Heather Cox Richardson. You hear sometimes now that America has no heroes left.
Heather Cox Richardson says, I gave that a lot of thought. And I came to believe that heroism is neither being perfect nor doing something spectacular. In fact, it is just the opposite. It's regular, flawed human beings choosing to put others before themselves, even at great cost, even if no one will ever know, even as they realize the walls might be closing in around them.
It means sitting down the night before D-Day and writing a letter praising the troops and taking all the blame for the next day's failure upon yourself in case things went wrong, as General Dwight D. Eisenhower did.
It means writing in your diary that you still believe people are really good at heart, even while you are hiding in an attic from the men who are soon going to kill you, as Anne Frank did.
It means signing your name to the bottom of the Declaration of Independence in bold print, even though you know you are signing your own death warrant should the British capture you, as John Hancock did.
It means defending your people's right to practice a religion you don't share, even though you know you are becoming a dangerously visible target, as Sitting Bull did.
Sometimes it just means sitting down, even when you're told to stand up, as Rosa Parks did.
None of those people woke up one morning and said to themselves that they were about to do something heroic. It's just that when they had to, they did what was right.
They did what was right.
Amen.
Hello, I'm Kerridwen Henry. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm serving as the worship associate for today. I want to share a visual description of myself to make the service more accessible. I am a white, middle-aged woman with short brown hair and glasses, wearing a teal dress with pink and aqua embroidered moths, and my arms are covered in tattoos. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, we light a chalice as a symbol of our shared faith and community. As the generosity team kindles the chalice, I invite those of you joining us online to share in the chat where you are lighting your chalice. Please join me in the chalice lighting words. We light this chalice in praise, especially now when so much is at stake. We praise all the things, anything, so alive and extravagant that it awakens and calls us, discard despair and abandoned apathy. We praise all the things, anything, that brings us back to life.
So we have our Wonder Box up here this morning, and I wonder if there is someone who would like to help me open the Wonder Box. Oh, I see a hand. Come on up. Our Wonder Box. What could be in there? What do you think it is? I don't know. What is that? A baby Yoda? So can you hold it up so everyone can see? A baby Yoda. And there's one other thing in there. A baby panda. Thank you. We can put them right here. Yeah. Thank you so much for your help. So baby Yoda and baby panda are making a cameo with us here today. But they were actually, you may not know this, they were YouTube stars during the pandemic. They were on YouTube with me in a video that we're going to show up here in 1 second. And so I just wanted you all to see that they really are here with us this morning. And so baby Yoda is playing a wise old turtle, and baby panda is playing himself in this video, just so you know. So you can roll the video.
There once was a girl named Nicole who sometimes felt uncertain about the right way to act. I want to be a good person, she told her friends, but I don't always know how to do that. Nicole's friends understood and they wanted to help her. If only I could find the answers to my 3 questions, Nicole continued, then I would always know what to do. When is the best time to do things? Who is the most important one? What is the right thing to do? Nicole's friends considered her first question. Then Sonia, the bird, spoke. To know the best time to do things, one must plan in advance, she said. Gogol, the monkey, who had been rooting through some leaves to find something good to eat, said, "You will know when to do things if you watch and pay close attention." Then Pushkin, the dog, who was just dozing off, rolled over and said, "You can't pay attention to everything yourself. You need a pack to help you keep watch and decide when to do things. For example, Gogol, a coconut is about to fall on your head." Nicole thought for a moment, and then she asked the second question. Who is the most important one? Those who are closest to heaven, said Sonia, circling up in the sky. Those who know how to heal the sick, said Gogol, stroking his bruised noggin. Those who make the rules, growled Pushkin. Nicole thought some more. Then she asked the third question. What is the right thing to do? Flying, said Sonia. Having fun all the time, laughed Gogol. Fighting, barked Pushkin right away. Then the girl thought for a long while. She loved her friends. She knew they were trying their best to help her answer her questions, but their answers didn't seem quite right. Then an idea came to her. I know, she thought. I will ask Leo the turtle. He has lived for a very long time. Surely he will know the answers I am looking for. Nicole hiked up high into the mountains where the old turtle lived alone. When Nicole arrived, she found Leo digging in the garden. The turtle was old and digging was hard for him. I have 3 questions I came to ask your help, Nicole said. When is the best time to do things? Who is the most important one? What is the right thing to do? Leo listened carefully, but he only smiled. Then he went on digging. You must be tired, Nicole said at last. Let me help you. The turtle gave Nicole his shovel and thanked her. And because it was easier for a young girl to dig than it was for an old turtle, Nicole kept digging until the rows were finished. But just as she finished, the wind blew wildly and rain burst from darkened clouds. As they moved toward the cottage for shelter, Nicole suddenly heard a cry for help. Running down the path, she found a panda whose leg had been injured by a fallen tree. Carefully, Nicole carried her into Leo's house and made a splint for her leg with a stick of bamboo. The storm raged on, banging at the doors and windows. The panda woke up. Where am I? She said, and where is my child? Nicole ran out of the cottage and down the path. The roar of the storm was deafening. Pushing against the howling wind and drenching rain, she ran further and faster into the forest. And there she found the panda's child, cold and shivering on the ground. The little panda was wet and scared, but alive. Nicole carried her inside and made her warm and dry. Then she laid her in her mother's arms. Leo smiled when he saw all that she had done. The next morning, the sun was warm, birds sang, and all was well with the world. And the panda's leg was healing nicely. She thanked Nikolai for saving her and her baby from the storm. At that moment, Sonia, Gogol, and Pushkin arrived to make sure everyone was all right. Nicole felt great peace within herself. She had wonderful friends, and she had saved the panda and her child. But she also felt disappointed. She still had not found the answers to her 3 questions, so she asked Leo one more time. The old turtle looked at the girl. But your questions have been answered, he said. They have? Asked the girl. Yesterday, if you had not stayed to help me dig my garden, you wouldn't have heard the panda's cries for help in the storm. Therefore, the most important time was the time you spent digging in the garden. The most important one at that moment was me, and the most important thing to do was to help me with my garden. Later, when you found the injured panda, the most important time was the time you spent mending her leg and saving her child. The most important ones were the panda and her baby. And the most important thing to do was to take care of them and make them safe. And remember then that there is only one important time, and that time is now. The most important one is always the one you are with. And the most important thing is to do good for the one who is standing at your side. For these, my dear girl, are the answers to what is most important in this world. Please rise as we sing our children to their classes with a new hymn led by Michael called Good Enough. Children, you may start walking to your classes.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Michael Holmes. I am the Director of Music and Arts here at Cedar Lane UU congregation. It is my first year, and it's going so well. I'm loving it. And my pronouns are he, him. And I'll sing this by our person from our beloved world community, Leah Morris, who lives in Germany, and she was with us in the fall. I'll sing it twice, and then we'll have our quartet sing some backup parts with it. So Let me get our first note. My hands are strong enough, they're good enough, I'm good enough. My hands are strong enough to give love. My hands are strong enough, they're strong enough, I'm good enough. My hands are strong enough to give love. My hands are strong enough, they're strong enough, I'm good enough. My hands are strong enough to give love. My hands are strong enough, I'm strong enough, I'm good enough. My hands are strong enough to give love. My hands are strong enough, they're strong enough, I'm good enough. My hands are strong enough to give love. My hands are strong enough, they're strong enough, I'm good enough. My hands are strong enough to give love. Thank you, quartet.
As we enter this sacred time of sharing our joys and sorrows, let us pause. Take a deep breath and ground ourselves in the present moment. With open hearts, we welcome the fullness of human experience, joys, challenges, grief, and hope, trusting that in this community, none of us journeys alone. Within our Cedar Lane community, we send heartfelt condolences to Helen Pukacek, whose brother Bob Earsey died February 18th peacefully. We rejoice with Louise Stomorowski, who is delighted to welcome grandson Alexander Atlas Goulet to the world on January 16th, 2025, on the island of Crete in Greece. Next weekend, we will celebrate the life of Sally Roman on Saturday, March 1st at 2 p.m., and Paulette Skalka on Sunday, March 2nd at 3 p.m. We hold in our hearts all those within and beyond our Cedar Lane community impacted by the onslaught of executive orders, especially people with disabilities, undocumented immigrants, trans and non-binary folks, federal workers and contractors, women, Black, Indigenous, and people of color, and particularly the many people who hold more than one of these identities. We send our love to Shiloh, Pennsylvania, and pray for safety, comfort, and healing for all the people affected by yesterday's violence at the UPMC Memorial Hospital. Our hearts are with all those killed and hurt by the ongoing war in the Middle East, especially the children. We continue to pray for a lasting ceasefire in Gaza, for the release of all captives, and for the swift delivery of humanitarian aid to those in peril. Expanding our circle of care, we honor the preciousness of each and every life, and we remember all who have been tragically lost. We hold in our hearts all those affected by violence, war, natural disasters, and the ongoing climate crisis, both here and around the world. As we enter the silence together, you are invited to rise in body and/or in spirit and speak the names of the loved ones that you are holding in remembrance, or to share their names in the chat online. Now, we invite you to come forward and participate in a ritual of connection to honor the moments that touch your life. On the table to this side are stones waiting to be chosen. Let the stone you lift and place into the water represent your celebrations, remembrances, burdens, or prayers of love and healing. May the ripples that these stones make remind us that our actions and our love extend far beyond ourselves. Just as their waves spread across the surface, our love spreads across the world. You're welcome to come forward now.
Would you join me now in the spirit of prayer, meditation, or reflection? Nameless one of many names and beyond all naming. Spirit of life, spirit of love. In the hush of this sacred space, we pause to listen. Somebody's calling our name. A voice from within, a voice from beyond, a whisper of presence in times of sorrow and joy, challenge and comfort. We gather in this moment, bringing with us the burdens and the blessings of our lives. We hold in love those who grieve, those who struggle, those who long for healing. May they feel the embrace of a love that does not let go. We rejoice with those who celebrate new beginnings, unexpected joys, and the quiet miracles of daily life. May they be strengthened by the beauty of connection and community. O Spirit, in the stillness we remember that we are not alone. The Holy moves among us and through us, calling us forward, urging us toward wholeness, justice, and peace. May we open our hearts to the presence that sustains us, to the mystery that calls us, and to the love that holds us all. In the words of the ancient Hindu prayer, Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. May all be happy. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May all be peaceful. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May all be whole. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May all be filled with the holy. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. May it be so.
Please to number 1040 with us. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? Sounds like freedom. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Oh, sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall
Good morning. My name is Andrew Batcher. I'm the Social Justice Coordinator at Cedar Lane. I use he or they pronoun. I'm a bald, bearded, white, agender person wearing all blue for no particular reason today. As we gather in this sacred space, we are invited to invest in Cedar Lane's mission and vision. The offering we take today and every Sunday is more than just financial support. It is an act of commitment to this beloved community and to the values we hold dear. Through our generosity, we empower Cedar Lane to be a place where love works, where justice is pursued, and where all are welcome. Today, we kick off our annual fund campaign in these fraught times. Your generosity matters now. Your financial generosity sustains our programs, strengthens our community partnerships, and allows us to grow in faith, service, and connection. Whether you make a one-time gift today, support our Share the Plate partner, or renew your commitment to give monthly or annually, every contribution plays a vital role in strengthening our community and advancing our mission. Today, we are honored to share the plate with CASA, an organization that builds power and improves the quality of life in working-class Black, Latine, Afro-descendant, Indigenous, and immigrant communities. They began as an immigrant justice organization in Maryland and have now become a national powerhouse with over 155,000 lifetime members across 46 U.S. states. CASA creates change with its power-building model, blending human services, community organizing, and advocacy in order to serve the full spectrum of the needs, dreams, and aspirations of its members. CASA has been a major figure in our area in Know Your Rights training. They've worked with the county and also distributed information through flyering neighborhoods. They have a tip line to report raids and other ICE encounters. They also have a hotline for legal assistance. They host citizenship clinics, ESOL classes. They have work centers. They're also working in Annapolis right now on protecting safe space status of spaces like churches, and data privacy, and on other issues related to immigrant safety right now in these times. It is actually quite amazing the extent of CASA's services. On top of all of that, CASA was one of the plaintiffs in the case CASA v. Trump, where they successfully protected birthright citizenship. Two weeks ago, we held a discussion after service about what Cedar Lane could do now for immigrant justice, supporting organizations like CASA doing this really vital work is one thing that we all can do. By partnering with them, we extend our impact beyond these walls, helping to create a more compassionate and just world. Whether you give online, by text, by mailing a check, or by placing your gift in the offering plate, every contribution, no matter the size, does make a real impact. Let us give generously, knowing that together we have the power to make a difference. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find that fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out in mountains. We gon' walk it out in I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, we'll bring it to its feet and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, I will rise, I will rise, I will rise for you, I will rise for you. All we need is hope, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other. We will rise, we will rise, we will rise, we will rise, we will rise up. I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, high like the waves, we'll rise up, in spite of the ache, we'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, we will rise for you, we will rise for you, we will rise for you.
Good morning. I'm Lucy Lowenthal. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a white woman, aging, with graying hair. Today I'm wearing a black suit, green and blue shirt, and Chalice earrings. As a member of the generosity team, I'm going to share with you a few thoughts about how my husband and Peter and I joined Cedar Lane and what it has meant to us for the past 36 years. It is part of the fabric of our lives, and we give every year as best we can. Generosity matters. You've heard that a few times this morning already. That is the theme of our campaign that begins today. What does generosity mean to you? In my view, generosity involves not only financial commitment, but also a personal commitment of time to a community of people who want to make the world a better place where love works. Peter and I started at Cedar Lane when we were first married. Peter is Jewish and I was raised Christian. We were looking for a church that was welcoming and might provide an interfaith experience. Our children, Rachel and Max, both went through the entire religious education program, starting as babies and continuing through high school. They both went through the Cedar Lane Co-op Nursery School with Peter as our co-oping family member. Over the years, we have done activities with other parents on Sundays, such as volunteering to serve meals with children at So Others May Eat and making sandwiches for Martha's Table. There were intergenerational projects, including field trips and cleanups. One Sunday, Peter launched a rowboat into our nearby Rock Creek, and all ages rowed around and picked up trash. Within the last 3 years, Peter and I got tied up thinking of the boat out in the lake. It was a great day. We still have that boat. Personally, I've been on the board, the Social Justice Council, participated in summer Sunday services, served as a worship associate, worked on the committee a long time ago to make this a welcoming congregation, and later a green sanctuary. Peter has been on site and facilities for over 20 years and now is on the AV team in addition to his many years contributing in RE. Yes, we have been involved and we have contributed financially every year in addition to all this time. Within the last 3 years, Peter and I lost 3 parents. The ministers here were a huge help, especially with the material to use at the various memorial services. The caregiving Zoom group was very welcoming to me as I struggled through the last few years with my mother. On Sundays, when I come to church, I'm always refreshed and nourished spiritually. The music from the choir and musicians is always uplifting. The organ is outstanding and really quite unique in UU congregations. The sermons from the ministers and guests help feed my soul. Cedar Lane inspired me to go and complete a master's degree in theology at Wesley Seminary in 2015. The ministers here were my sponsors and mentors. It was a wonderful experience. I personally look forward to doing more lay and community ministry in the future. However, in my role as Generosity team member, we are starting our annual campaign today. The campaign will continue actively till our big celebration lunch on March 30th. We have a very strong campaign team, some of whom are here in the front row here having lit the Chalice. Kathy Bryant, Kay Gottesman, Karen Durland, who designed all of our materials, is fantastic. Adrian O'Neill, Vicky Strella, Ann Brady is in the back, and Marilyn Emery and Jill Russ is not here. Starting after service today, there will be a table in the lounge every Sunday. On the table, there will be materials and committee members and members of the church staff to answer questions and look up your pledges from last year. If you're ready to give today, then please fill in your form and hand it to us, or mail it in later, or go online to our new donation website called Where Love Works. I tested it out and it works great. This year, even more than ever, the congregation needs your ongoing support. For those who are able, we are hoping you will step up in giving from last year. The budget is very tight. For new members, we have a giving guide that will help you decide what to give and how to give. For new members, do consider donating now. We are hoping this year for 100% participation. All I can say is Cedar Lane is my haven. I plan to give generously, and I hope all of you will too. Generosity matters now. Thank you.
One more hymn for us. I ask you to rise in body or in spirit. We turn to number 1028, but it will also be on the screen. It's probably easier. Fire of Commitment.
Spirit.
In our newcomer Soul Circle group this week, we discussed this quote from the founder of Interfaith America, Abhi Patel. "I believe every inch of America is sacred," he says, "from sea to shining sea. I believe we make it holy by who we welcome and how we relate to each other. I believe every inch of America is sacred, from sea to shining sea. I believe we make it holy by who we welcome and by how we relate to each other." Soul Circles are our small group ministry program at Cedar Lane. Is anybody here a participant in a Soul Circle? Yeah, we have over 130 people who participate in Soul Circles right now. The groups are about 7 to 10 people who meet monthly to discuss our spiritual theme for the month. And in our group, we have an agreement that we'll take the learnings and leave the stories. So I can't tell you how each person responded to the quote I just read, but what I can tell you is what I learned from that discussion. I learned that America is actually a complicated idea and can have many meanings, which got me thinking, do I believe America is sacred? And then, what does sacred even mean, really? According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, sacred is a synonym for holy. It means deserving honor and respect. In my mind, something sacred is something worth protecting, something worth making a sacrifice for, something worth changing your life for. There is a story in the Hebrew scriptures about a woman named Rizpah. Her sons' lives are sacrificed by King David in order to atone for their father breaking covenant with a neighboring tribe. What's fascinating to me in this story is that Rizpah doesn't beg David to spare the life of her children. She doesn't bargain, nor does she throw up her hands and try to go about her daily life as if nothing happened. As described in 2 Samuel chapter 21, verse 10 and 11, Rizpah bat Aiah took a sackcloth and spread it out for herself on a rock. From the beginning of the barley harvest until the rain fell from the sky on the bodies, she did not allow the birds of heaven to touch them during the day or the wild animals at night. For Rizpah, the inherent worth and dignity of her children in life and in death was sacred. It was worth protecting, worth changing her life for, worth sacrificing for. She courageously stood vigil and protected them for 6 months, a whole growing season, until David was shamed into offering them a proper burial. It's easy to say to a mother that her child's dignity is sacred and worth protecting. But what about America? Is every inch of it sacred, as Abhi Patel says? Is America worth bearing public witness for? Is it worth protecting? Is it holy? Well, that depends. America, our history, our culture is complex and complicated, to say the least, and some parts of it are toxic and festering. And there are American institutions that are sacred. that are worth changing your life for, that are worth protecting. America as an idea and American institutions are not perfect. But things don't have to be perfect to be worth protecting. We are faced at this very moment with the question of what parts of America are most sacred. What parts do we need to courageously hold public vigil for, to make sacrifices for, to protect from scavengers, to change our lives for? Timothy Snyder, in his book on tyranny, states, until recently, we Americans had convinced ourselves that there was nothing in the future but more of the same. We allowed ourselves to accept the politics of inevitability. The sense that history could move in only one direction, towards liberal democracy. This is especially true for those of us who grew up primarily in post-Cold War America. Yes, I'm looking at you, millennials and Gen Xers. Love you guys. Our generations are known for skepticism of institutions, as was named in an opinion piece in Religion and Ethics in 2022. The author says, the fact is, the generations coming down the pipeline take a dim view of the legitimacy, utility, and purpose of the institutions that sustained Western civilization until yesterday. This institutional skepticism is based on a complex mixture of well-evidenced institutional failure, yes, well-evidenced institutional failure on one hand, and also misperceptions and illusions on the other hand. We, as generations, we could be skeptical of institutions because we had allowed ourselves to be lulled into the politics of inevitability. We could see ourselves as challenging institutions like democracy and organized religion because we thought they would always be there. And now, right before our very eyes, we are witnessing how very fragile our institutions truly are. Courage, says David Poet White, is what love looks like when tested by the simple, everyday necessities of being alive. Courage is what love looks like when tested by the simple, everyday necessities of being alive. As we engage in the spiritual practice of courage, he goes on to say, on the inside, we come to know who and what and how we love, and what we can do to deepen that love. Only from the outside, and only looking back does it look like courage. Rizpah didn't have to say a word, and yet she was the embodiment of courage. She communicated her outrage at the senseless violence of her rulers through her presence. She protected her dignity and the dignity of her kin, and in doing so, illustrated to those in her community how disgusting, how absurd these brutal acts of violence truly were. But she could not have embodied courage without her community. When Rizpah was holding vigil, people must have brought her food and water, right? Yeah. Perhaps other mothers kept her company in the day, or maybe brought her a shawl to keep her warm at night. In her book, Crisis Contemplation, Barbara Holmes points to several ways Rizpah resisted that we can learn from. She bears silent witness. She identifies her strengths, and she protects what is left. Rizpah, she says, appears to be alone, but she also knows that an entire society, her village of belonging, is watching. Rizpah protected the sacred ground where her sons were from birds and beasts for 6 months. Only with the help of her community of belonging was she able to display such incredible courage. In the times we live in right now, those in power are hoping we will isolate ourselves and start to embrace a scarcity mindset. We can engage in spiritual resistance by seeking connection, feeling the support of our community of belonging, and by finding ways to embody abundance, even when, and especially when, we are afraid. Cedar Lane, now, in this moment, this is the time for us to come to know who and what and how we love. Then we need to deepen that love. Courage is deciding what matters now. We need to find the courage to protect the institutions that are sacred to us, because if we don't, we will witness their systematic dismantling. We cannot buy into the politics of inevitability anymore. And we know how to be courageous. We, Cedar Lane, we know how to do hard things. We know what matters now. And not only do we know how to do hard things, but we know how to do hard things with a creative flair. During the pandemic, when we were all at home and we had to worship online, we had to decide within a matter of days what mattered now. And we knew that worship mattered now. And we did the best possible worship we could, engaging the creativity of volunteers and staff and the ministers. Because of the generosity of Cedar Laners, we were able to purchase new software and equipment, and staff was able to take online classes to learn how to create moving and meaningful worship. The videos that we showed during the wisdom story was a result of your courageous generosity during a difficult time. During the renovation, when the dust was settling on everything and it was really hard to see what the end result was going to be, we knew that community and beauty mattered now. So we came together and created this beautiful mural. The paint, the canvas, the staff hours of planning and setting up and cleaning it up and outlining it all in Sharpie, yes, I outlined that all in Sharpie, was possible because of your courageous generosity. And after the inauguration, as reality began to set in, that life as we knew it was going to change quickly and shockingly. We knew that people needed a place to express their anger and rage in healthy ways. We knew creation mattered now, when destruction was taking place all around us. So we smashed plates to release our anger and then took the pieces of our rage and created something beautiful together. If you smashed a plate or put some pieces on there or did something related to this mural, to this mosaic, can you raise your hand? If you wiped off some pieces, yeah, this was a community effort. The youth participated, everybody in the community participated. It was in the fellowship hall, getting cleaned off by various people. This took everyone's effort. It was a multi-generational and multi-day project. We had trips to the thrift store and hardware store. We engaged everybody in the congregation. And then our facility staff, Jose and Rufo, created this beautiful frame so that we can preserve and share our creation. This mosaic is a testament to your courageous generosity. Cedar Lane knows how to be courageous and generous, and if we want to protect our beloved institutions like freedom of religion and freedom of expression, like Unitarian Universalism, like Cedar Lane, if we want to protect what is important to us, generosity matters now. Intentional, progressive faith communities like ours are sacred. They are worth protecting. They are worthy of honor and respect. They are holy, and they are not inevitable. They are built by the people who are courageous enough to love them deeply. Many of you in your daily lives are called to do the work of love and justice in the world, and Cedar Lane is the place that you come to be spiritually fortified for the work that you do. You might be spiritually fortified by worship, or through our music program, or through our work with children and youth, through our soul circles, or even just a deep pastoral conversation with a minister. There are no words right now that I can say to make everything okay. There is no melody that I can sing that will turn back time, and now, frankly, is not the moment for a lullaby to soothe your soul. There is no balm to heal the wounds of our country that have been festering for centuries. There is no story to tell of a superhero or a goddess who will save us all and set the world straight. There is only this moment, and ordinary people like you and me doing the next right thing, doing what matters right now. And it is your generosity that matters to sustain and grow this faith community so that we can continue to create beauty in the midst of chaos, to provide spiritual sustenance for the work of protecting what is sacred in our community. The billionaires are going to try to convince you that you are a commodity, that your resources are scarce and should be hoarded. Generosity and abundance are acts of resistance. Courageous, bold, expansive generosity matters now. As Lucy mentioned, today is the kickoff of our annual fund campaign, and I'm going to ask you to give a generous gift today. You can give monthly, yearly, quarterly, daily, weekly, whichever works best for you. And I need to say something that's kind of hard, and I want to say it with love. Cedar Lane has a history of resting in the politics of inevitability when it comes to giving. We imagine that our congregation will always be here, so we can pledge or give when we get around to it. But Cedar Lane, my beloveds, it is clear now more than ever that we must protect what is sacred to us. So if Cedar Lane is sacred to you, fill out your pledge card today. If you're ready to bear public witness to your values, we have a photo booth next to the pledge table where you can say what matters to you now and take a picture saying what matters to you right now. And we'll use these pictures on social media to encourage others to give and also to publicly name all that Cedar Lane values. Help us courageously bear witness, as Rispa did, to protect what we love. In these coming days and weeks, when you're caught in doom scrolling or feeling resignation or helplessness, ground yourself with the question, what matters now? And imagine the possibilities of your day and how they might expand if you answer, generosity matters now. Let us all be courageously generous so that we can continue to resist, continue to fight, and continue to love. May it be so. Amen. And blessed be.
like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion, like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things that I didn't say were wrecking balls inside my brain. And I will scream aloud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me.
Losing friends, I'm chasing sleep. Everybody's worried about me. I'm in too deep. Say I'm in too deep. And it's been 2 years, I miss my home. But there's a fire burning in my bones. I still believe. Yeah, I still believe.
And all these things that I didn't say were wrecking balls inside my head. And I will scream aloud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. A lot of fight left in me. Like a small boat in the ocean, sending big waves into motion, like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. And I don't really care if my power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. No, I've still got a lot of fight left in me.
Let's give it up to our quartet. Wow.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Courage is speaking truth to power even when your voice is shaky.
Ooh. Yes, and courage is lighting a fire underneath someone who was kind of walking in, sliding in mellow after a nice long break. So thank you for getting me ramped up.
I'm so glad you're back.
Thank you. It's
welcome.
good to be back.
Yeah. So you might remember that in our worship, announcements aren't just updates. They are invitations to live our values and make a meaningful difference. Each opportunity we share here is a chance to connect, to grow, and to take action in ways that reflect who we are and what we stand for.
So you talked about crazy generosity, or maybe you...
Courageous.
Courageous generosity. Oh,
Whatever gets you to make your
but
pledge.
crazy
good
generosity
too.
is also good.
Yeah, please.
And I hear we have a shining example of courageous generosity.
We sure do.
And to share a little bit more about that, let's welcome Jean Scheibel.
I want to tell you about how this Steinway B concert piano came to our sanctuary. To begin with, I have to mention Maury Merkin and the Merkin family. Maury was a vital part of our congregation for many, many years. And for the last 8 years of his life, we were sweethearts. And when he died, his grown children, David and Jill, gifted me with monies, enough for me to give to the church to purchase the Steinway. There was a team. Can I have the piano team stand up, including Jasmine? These were the experts. I, on the other hand, am a retired public health nurse and a member of the choir, and recently a rock artist. So they were gracious enough to include me in their search process. They did all of the work. They're all pianists. They are the experts. Can I have Steve and Michael and Jasmine please stand up so that we can recognize you? No, up. So are we here? Hello? Yes. It arrived in the sanctuary on Friday. Steve has tuned the piano. Yesterday he installed the humidity control system. So it's all set to go, and it's beautiful, and the sound is glorious. But I want to pay homage to the Merkin family, because without them, I would not have the funds to give to Cedar Lane. I believe strongly in our congregation and what it represents. I want our congregation to thrive and to grow, and I want our music program to thrive and to grow. So after the benediction, please stay seated, and Jasmine will give us wonderful sounds from this Steinway. Thank you.
Just a few more things to say. Thank you so much, Jean, for your gift and for your kind words. If you were motivated by this service to get connected with some movement organizing happening to support federal workers and protect our democracy, I invite you to see Laura Henderson after the service, if you could raise your hand, Laura, or also see Andrew Batcher, who will be downstairs but also around, and you could also email him.
And the conversations for the Living the Mission continue, and the task force wants you to engage in these important conversations to learn more about Cedar Lane's vision and mission and what our priorities are going forward. And so there will be a session today in the downstairs family lounge, and it's a special session because there will be pizza and childcare provided.
Yes. And also this afternoon, 8PEG, our 8th Principle Embodiment Group, is having their monthly sacred conversation about race. And all are welcome, and the topic will be how to fight back against our assault on our values, and that is downstairs in room 33. And in the library, we will have a group of federal workers meeting to just commiserate and talk about what's next.
And a parent support group for parents in need of an informal group for support during the parenting journey, which is a spiritual practice in a neuro-affirming, trauma-informed, non-judgmental space, which will be Wednesdays online from 8 to 9 p.m., and all are welcome.
And finally, we have next Sunday, our newcomers lunch will be after the service in the library. For anybody who is a new visitor or new member or still just feels new, you're warmly invited after service on the first Sunday of each month for a conversation with one of our ministers. Our benediction comes from Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker. In the midst of a world marked by tragedy and beauty, there must be those who bear witness against unnecessary destruction and who, with faith, rise and lead in freedom with grace and power. There must be those who speak honestly and do not avoid seeing what must be seen of sorrow and outrage or tenderness and wonder. There must be those whose grief troubles the water while their voices sing and speak refreshed worlds. There must be those whose exuberance rises with lovely energy that articulates earth's joy. And there must be those who are restless for respectful and loving companionship among human beings, whose presence invites people to be themselves without fear. There must be those who gather with the congregation of remembrance and compassion, draw water from old wells, and walk the simple path of love for neighbor. And there must be communities of people who seek to do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with God, who call on the strength of soul force to heal, to transform, and to bless life. There must be religious witness. Amen, and blessed be.